to the bold analysis. I have decided today to take a break so that we prepare for tomorrow, first day of April. But having listened to a can of lies that the President of the Republic of Kenya is carrying on his way to Mount Kenya, I've decided to come before this camera and of course say this. I'm one of the analysts that really did a closest look on Rigathi impeachment. And so because I listened to what the president is talking about that impeachment, I'm a bit obliged to talk about it. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. Before get into that, I also want to remind you and ask you that if you are in need of solar, in need of solar light installation, be it in your office, in a home that you've built up country or anywhere, and you need solar solutions, don't look further. Look for Instalight and talk to Gidiomi here and tell Gidiomi that it is from Bolt. Atakuongelesha vizuri na atakusaidia upate good discount. Talk to Gidiomi here 0722181883 and say goodbye to power outages. You know, in this country we've had a problem of power. So as you figure out your solutions to avoid outages, consider working with Instalight. The Supreme Court of Kenya must and should, as a matter of urgency, convene a sitting, and I don't know whether it's going to be a constitutional review process, to review threshold and several clauses on impeachment, because politicians sitting in privileged positions should never be allowed again to abuse those opportunities to settle scores with others. I am convinced I tried to establish the nexus between what the president is accusing Rigathi of doing and what Mutuse presented in the National Assembly, and it is day and night. What Mutuse executed in the National Assembly was a big fraud that was just established, that was just used to settle what, according to me, is a political fight. President Ruto's explanation about the reasons why they impeached Rigathi Gachagua, that explanation is pathetic. It's a shame to this country. It's a shame. And that shows how really Ruto has exposed himself to more ridicule and scrutiny. In fact, he would have just avoided it. And that shows how untruthful he is as to why. And I'm talking this in response to, you draw a comparison between what Ruto is saying and the fraud that Mutuse presented in the National Assembly. You look and realize Ruto is a liar and is lying about it. Go with me. He leveled 3 accusations. The first accusation is this one regarding fight with State House staff.
Si tukaanza kazi. Mambo matatu yalitokea. Ya kwanza, shida. Kesi. Kila siku kwa kesi. Itumbi amesema sijui ameandika nini. Sasa tukafanya kesi. Laita Itumbi. Deputy President ameketi hapo, mimi hapa. Wewe Deputy President anasema umefanya. Haya, tunamaliza kesi. Next, baada ya wiki moja, Faruk PA, mtu mdogo, amesema amefanya. Haya, naita Faruk, nafanya kesi. Tukamaliza hiyo. Kidogo Ndindi Nyoro ameitisha mkutano sijui Kiharu, amepanga wabunge wengi, mbona amepanga wabunge, mbona naita Ndindi Nyoro. Tumeketi chini. Kesi. Haya kuisha hiyo Kimani Ichung'wah. Sijui amesema. Sasa mpaka nikamuuliza, ndugu yangu, wewe ni naibu wa rais wa Kenya. Bloga huyu Dennis Itumbi bloga unasumbuana na yeye nini? PA ya ofisi mtu kidogo. Hawa vijana, sijui Ndindi Nyoro, sijui Kimani Ichung'wah, sijui nani, sijui mama mwingine, sijui anaitwa wa kutoka hapa ati alikuja, sijui anamwambia wewe unazungusha marinda sijui. Haya kamwambia, hivi tena kidogo ni nini? Just wait. Suma niuliza swali. Kabisa. So nikamwambia, tafadhali tufanye kazi ya Wakenya. Tuache hii makesi kidogo. Ndio hiyo yeye ameanza vita na wabunge. Hawa wabunge wenye kumuondoa bunge. Vita na wabunge, nyinyi wabunge. Kabla ya Disemba, msiponipigia magoti, mtaenda nyumbani. Wabunge ndio hawa. Wabunge ni wanasiasa. Sasa wabunge wakasema, Disemba tutaenda nyumbani. Tusipokupigia magoti. Okay.
And from this statement, you know what I'm realizing? And because I've been a political analyst through the 2 years that Kenya Kwanza have been in existence, I remember Rigathi complaining that junior staff in the office of the president are harassing him. I remember this accusation of Dennis Itumbi, of course, having a fallout on writing some things and on Rigathi Gachagua. And I also remember this Ndindi Nyoro trips that was making across the country, and Rigathi was very uncomfortable with some of those trips, and he was saying that there was an attempt for Rigathi to be the kingpin, but the two, Ndindi Nyoro and Kimani Ichung'wah, were probably being propped up as the person. Now, what this exposes is this. William Ruto used to send these people, wachokoze Rigathi. The traps were being laid. And so when Rigathi raises them, according to him, he's not making sense of him that the man is calling small person. It's not making sense to him that Dennis Itumbi went online to abuse Rigathi. So when Rigathi is raising, he's feeling like Rigathi is, as he presented it, he seemed to be defending the other people, and now he's saying, we're the deputy president. Mbona napigana na hawa? No, even if you're a deputy president, these things happened to him when Ruto was with Uhuru Kenyatta's second term. There are a clique of people around Uhuru Kenyatta that never sat well with Ruto. And what did Ruto do? Ruto took time abusing all these people. And I remember him, wakati akitusi Kinoti kwamba Kinoti ni mjinga. Didn't he say that Kinoti is a small person? Tuambieni ukweli. Mgala muwe. Mgala muwe haki mpe. This is not what to do. Sorry for that. I listened to the second one.
I went to more TV stations many more times than even the president himself. Kwa sababu ni kazi ya naibu wa rais kuprofile kazi ya serikali. Na wauliza nyinyi, KTN, Citizen, NTV, mulimuona Rigathi ameenda kuongea barabara siku moja, sitima siku moja, program ya UHC one day? What? For 2 years he never stepped in any station kusema program ya, wacha hata station, hata in public kuongea mambo ya serikali. Sawa, mimi nikamueleza, my brother, you know, manifesto tumeandika housing, manifesto tumeandika universal health coverage, manifesto tumeandika tutasort out mambo ya walimu, manifesto tumeandika, na manifesto si gazeti. Just wait, manifesto si gazeti. Nikamwambia, we made a commitment to the people of Kenya on housing, on universal health coverage, on making sure that we have a proper CBC model. Sasa kama huwezi kutetea, kama huwezi, na wewe nimekupatia mamlaka, hakuna kitu tumepitisha kwa cabinet ambayo haijaenda kwa ofisi ya deputy president kama chairman wa committee za cabinet. How are we going to run this government?
And this one is most embarrassing. Eti failure to support government projects, and outrightly the president can be in front of camera and say that, you know, did you ever see one day Rigathi going to TV? Is that a ground to impeach someone? Come on. Come on. Is that a ground to impeach someone? Etwakwe enda kwa TV could defend. And let me wait and see. Isn't it, how many events did the president attend with his deputy? And how many events did they attend even launching affordable housing together? To the best of my knowledge, Rigathi stopped supporting government projects after the Gen Z protest followed. After Gen Z protest, a clique of people told the president that Rigathi was behind it. And I even saw Nyakundi saying that someone told him to make a post that Rigathi sponsored Gen Z protests. Come on. So that is where the fallout happened. But you cannot say that for the 2 years, Rigathi was never... There was a time a government project was on how to attack Raila, and Rigathi used to execute it. Yes. How many projects did Rigathi... They were telling... So did Ruto want Rigathi to be calling media all the time? Media all the time and talking about what government is doing, government this, government that. Hapana. Number 3, the 10 billion demand.
Unajua, mimi naweza kukufanya one term president. Usipofanya hii, nahitaji bilioni 10. Wewe unajua bilioni 10, Bwana Waweru? Bilioni 10 ndio niende niongee na watu ya mlimani, you know, ni kupangie siasa, sijui nifanye nini. Mimi nikaona hapa nikamwambia I will not do it. Wacha nimalize. So nikamwambia hii haiwezekani. Na kama ni kuwa one term ni sawa. Hakuna problem. Kama wewe ndio kuamua nani atakuwa one term, nani atakuwa sijui how many terms, nilikuwa nafikiri ni wananchi wa Kenya na Mungu. Kama ni wewe, sasa amua vile unataka. Nasikia, my friends. So,
you know, let me tell you something about the 10 billion, because I know about it. This is what happened. There was a fallout when the office of the deputy president the funding was cut down. And there was a problem. So Rigathi raised this question about his office being underfunded. But that is what the president is constructing as going to demand 10 billion. Let me ask, washaka kwa serikali for 2 years. So all along, this has never been said. It is as you go and create, and then this has been created for them to project Rigathi as very selfless man who he never asked. Remember, and I can tell you that the bloggers are now been activated to say that he never asked for any road. In fact, he just asked for the billion. I remember Rigathi talking about a project that most of us felt was not even a priority, but he talked about it. The mambo ya alcohol and drug abuse. I remember him convening that meeting with the coffee and tea stakeholders for reforms. He did that. So if you look at what the president has presented, it would have made even more sense if this is the same reason why we would have seen Rigathi being impeached. I've tried to establish the nexus. It is not there. Supreme Court must not allow those sitting on privileged positions to to impeach people look in things that looks like some salon gossip. What the president is telling the country looks at some salon gossip. Eti nani akakuja tufanye kesi. Oh, nani akakuja nataka 10 billion. Come on. I think the president is beyond that. Come on. Mr. President, you're beyond that. Some of those things have been said in those interviews. And when things became hot, he even lost his temper. This response was the response of a man mwenye amekasirika.
Unajua kwa hiki wa mwere. Kuna wakati mmoja alienda kumuona Rais Kibaki. Kamwambia bwana rais, kuna shida hapa, kuna shida hapa, hapa iko shida, hapa iko shida, hapa iko shida, ungefanya hivi, ungefanya hivi. Kibaki akanyamaza, akamsikiza, alipomaliza akamwambia Koigi, hiyo maneno yote umesema, siku ukikuwa rais ufanye hivyo vile unataka. Wacha mimi nifanye vile najua. Sitaki kujibu hivyo. Nilikuwa
lakini mheshimiwa rais
wachana na hiyo. So Nithi, wacha tuende kwa Nithi Bridge. Huyu jamaa ameniuliza. Niliwaeleza wananchi wa Tharaka Nithi, mahali my deputy anatoka, kwamba hii Nithi Bridge tutaishughulikia. Right? Ukiuliza Kinoti wa Kera, ukiuliza engineer Kungu wa Kenha, kama I have given them the assignment to do it and to figure out how we are going to work on that bridge. They will tell you there is 2 solutions to that bridge. One will cost us 5 billion shillings, and they have designed how it's going to happen. The other one is going to cost us 50 billion shillings, and they have told us to make a choice between, are we going to do one that is going to cost us 5 billion? Are we going to do another one, or the other one that's going to cost us 50 billion? As to
and that was the answer, that Mimi, I'm the one who worked there, so leave me to do State House work. Or I'm the one who worked there. The 2 statements he made this one. In another that we said, I'm the one who worked from State House, so leave me to do State House work. So he didn't want the scrutiny. Hapo ni kama alikasirika. Now, there are 2 things why that statement, Rigathi's president presentation on Rigathi, he goofed on it. Number 1, the president is trying to recuse himself from Rigathi Gachagwa's impeachment. You can't, I don't know, even if you bring my 2-year-old boy, and he happens to know, it is in public domain that the presidency was right in the middle of Rigathi Gachagua impeachment. We know, we understand how state works. We analyzed that regarding impeachment. Do you know a Gazette notice, a meeting or Gazette notice for a special parliamentary sitting to discuss that impeachment was done, or rather to discuss or to approve Kindiki was done at night, on Friday night. We saw the way the state, did the parliament have all that powers to push all those things. We know how Rigathi tried to save his way in the courts and it failed. How are super MPs? And those who should be worried are Mount Kenya MPs, because I saw them there yelling and clapping because Ruto is attacking Rigathi. Lakini, Ruto is crucifying them. Ruto is crucifying them. Ruto is saying, I'm not the problem, it was the MPs. So he's actually crucifying those MPs. And he is lying about it. I find that a lie. I know Wanjiku in Mount Kenya will know very well that Rigathi ni Ruto alimtoa. Wacha kudanganya hapo na MPs. Hata kama MPs wako, it was only Ruto who can be able to talk to Raila so that ODM MPs to support that agenda. You can't tell me that Kimani Ichung'wah is such a powerful person, or rather Mutuse was such a powerful person. And, question, if Ruto alikosana na MPs wa Mount Kenya, why is it that the impeachment motion came from Mukambani? An MP from Mukambani, if all that was not statecraft. Second thing, The MPs and the president, since Rigathi impeachment, was accusing Rigathi of shareholding. And the president was on top of the car saying, we want to bring the county together, no more politics of shareholding. And even if you look at the grounds of Rigathi impeachment, he was actually impeached on those shareholding grounds. Why, if he is honest, why is he not telling in that interview that Rigathi has been impeached because of shareholding? Why is he not talking about it? The MPs that have said that Rigathi wanted to overturn, they wanted to remove Ruto from power, they're talking about, why is he not talking about it? Why is he using those innuendos? And that statement on Rigathi impeachment is half-baked. But those two just tell you how it goes. But that interview, someone would ask, why was that interview done in the first place? If I was to be an advisor, I would have said, you do it later. But because there are three things he wanted to achieve, that is why that interview was done. The first one, Ruto wants to set an agenda for the media. So he wanted a headline. For the Standard to get a headline. For the newspaper to, on Mount Kenya tour, they want that Mount Kenya tour to be about Rigathi. His fallout with Rigathi. Why? Because it doesn't have a development agenda there. And I'm going to analyze about that. Secondly, he wants to get the public anger on Rigathi removal. So he wants that to be the debate. And because he knows that Rigathi is likely going to reply. So he will gauge how people are going to react on this. And I think, hapo Ruto amedanganya, ukweli usemwe. Hapo rais amedanganya. Thank you.